So here we are once again, the end of another Speedway year, and what an ending it has been. It's been some fantastic playoff matches, and I'm sure we'll be talking about them tonight. But once again, I feel we will be saying that the upcoming AGM is going to be the most important one the sport has ever known. And once again, it will probably be true. Only in Speedway.
Once again, Speedway fans are the last people to know about it. So.
Absolutely. We're sitting here, and that's always been a problem with Speedway. Yep. We're sitting here speculating and coming up with what could very well be very wild guesses, but we don't know.
Yep.
Because if you have a vacuum, it has to be filled. So yeah, I mean, we can speculate for all we like, but we just, like you say, last to know, always the last to know.
Yep. If somebody else already knows the answers, but we're not going to tell you, then can't do anything about that, can we? So, but
absolutely, I think the most important AGM that we've ever had in this sport.
It's sort of like Groundhog Day, isn't it? Because
we
seem to say that every single season, but I think really this season it is. We're obviously losing a lot. We've obviously lost, another club obviously this season in Birmingham, and there's obviously rumours surrounding places like Cradley, Peterborough, Coventry, and places like that. Nothing concrete at the moment on any of those. So there's a lot of things. There's got to be a big sort of if there's any sort of financial outlay that they can put in to try and put some proper groundworks into Speedway and to sort of put some proper base in it, but they've had chances to do it before and not taking it. So, and of course, the big question is, what will we be able to watch Speedway on next year? Of course, TNT not going to be involved.
I hadn't heard that. So,
so obviously that's not going to be the case next year. There's rumours about Premier Sports. I've heard. Could they even possibly go just with BSN, who've been done such a superb job on a shoestring budget? Really enjoyed their coverage of the Championship playoffs. I guess
I have enjoyed the coverage of every bit that I've seen. I think they've been so much more professional from a Speedway point of view, what they've done than that TNT. The big problem with that is they can't offer the sponsorship that some of these television companies can, and that has a knock-on effect to the sport as well. Is that necessarily a bad thing? Is it not? Is it a bad thing to basically go back to what would be grassroots at that point? I guess.
So I would say there's an argument that's probably what the sport needs, to sort of strip back and just go back to basics. Really, I think is it called the jumpers for goalposts policy?
But jumpers for goalposts, yes.
Yeah. Just jumpers for each bend, I think. So.
Simon Corbett makes a point. Pickering at Scunny and Nichols at Plymouth. I mean, they've jumped the gun quite a bit very early on making signings. What does that say to us? Does that look like a signing that's going to be for one league or what?
Well, of course, Plymouth run on Saturdays, so that sort of indicates, because we don't even know who's going to be covering the Grand Prix next year.
No.
And Scott Nichols undoubtedly would have been involved in any coverage for the Jet Ps on a Saturday, but if he's going to find it hard if he's going to be riding at Plymouth. He can't be in two places at once. I know he's miraculous, Scott Nichols, but he's not that miraculous. Big signing, I think, for Scunthorpe, regardless of what league they are in Josh Pickering, who's a terrific rider to watch, and Scunthorpe's gets a bit of stick occasionally, but it is a great racetrack. So hopefully that'll be a good move for them. They had a poor season really last year, didn't they? Scunthorpe after a few pretty decent seasons in that league. So, but yeah, big move for Plymouth to get Scott Nichols there. So,
but what does that sort of point as if people are looking at a one league? I mean, the Pickering signing would sort of point that way to me.
I think, that would. Nichols' would as well, I think, in a lot of senses. Scott Nichols has already said that I don't think he's got any intention of doing top league racing again.
So Chris Thorogood says, get one league out of your head. It ain't happening. Scunthorpe have pretty much confirmed that with their statement. I would have to say it's not down to Scunthorpe, though.
That's it.
It's at the end of the day, it'll be all the promoters doing.
Well, their promoter does happen to be the chairman of the BSBL as well. So, so if he doesn't know, then we're all in a mess, aren't we? So,
it's how does two leagues work then? How does that work with the number of clubs that there are? I don't know. I don't know how that works. I guess they make it work.
The Northampton, I mean, Ellis just mentioned there, the Northampton one, there still seems to be rumblings about that. I don't see how that can be ready for next year. I mean, I don't even know whereabouts in Northampton it is. So,
and he's back in the room.
He's back, isn't he?
It's not mine.
Sack him.
Yeah, Northampton one's been rumbling for 2-3 years now.
Phil Morris brought that up, didn't he? In the hearing for Brandon. So,
yep. Simon Corbett says it can't work with 5 teams in the top league. And Chris Thorogood says Northampton running at Oxford in top league is the rumour.
Yeah. Which Thomas Braffield's stock car track. I had heard something about Braffield stock track as a possibility. So, but again, is that going to be ready for next year? They're obviously keeping it very, very quiet, and they're well down the road with it. Then good luck to them. So, I mean, it's a long, long time since we've had Speedway down in Northampton.
I'm not sure I can remember it.
I think the closest I can think is probably Milton Keynes. That was the early 90s.
There was a comment there by Pete Clark I wanted to read, but it's disappeared. There you go. If clubs have started signing riders, it must mean that they already know the outcome of the AGM, says Pete.
Well, a lot of people do say that they have meetings during the season, and the AGM is all about rubber stamping what they're going to do. So,
but I remember Nigel Tully saying that he thought he knew what was going to happen last year, that that an agreement had been reached that the limit was going to go down, and then when he turned up, that all of a sudden had miraculously changed. So I don't know how these things work. Does anybody know how these things work?
Well, I don't think the BSBL know how they work half the time, to be fair. So.
Before we sort of go down the doom and gloom road of, oh my gosh, what's going to happen to Speedway, we should say that it's been a fantastic end of the season in the playoffs in both leagues.
Yeah, I think the Championship one was really, Championship was really a tale of two tracks, wasn't it? So, I mean, the first leg was pretty nondescript in terms of racing.
We're talking about Glasgow Pool now, of course.
Pool, yeah, obviously. I think, Pool have said that Pool have pretty much said that they sort of made the track. I mean, you could see the track rider going round during the meeting. There was nothing coming off it at all. There was nothing on the track at all. I mean, when you got Chris Harris going on his interviews, absolutely lambasting a Speedway track, you know that it's not great. I guess Pool will argue, well, they knew that Glasgow were a team of racers and they didn't want to give them any sort of advantage, which I guess, we know how Pool work. Obviously, their target is always to win, and we saw that in the second leg. Glasgow on a superbly prepared track up at Ashfield. I would say that was probably the best meeting of the season that I've seen, live or on TV. There was some terrific racing, great atmosphere. There was a lot of positivity about the semi-final against Edinburgh as well. That was a great meeting, and we've all been saying about how Bellevue is the best track in the country for racing, but I think from what I've seen of Glasgow this season, Glasgow runs it pretty close.
Yeah. And the Glasgow manager has gone on record in this week's Speedway Star as saying that we need to make matches exciting.
Yeah,
that tracks need to be. That's obviously a veiled
dig at Pool.
I'm guessing.
Yeah,
it's not wrong though, is it?
I don't think he is wrong. To be fair, I think we all. I think at the end of the day, you all want to see your team win. I mean, but I mean, as I say, from my perspective as a Wolverhampton fan, I mean, one of the most enjoyable seasons I can remember for racing at Wolves was 2008. Some brilliant speedo that year, but we were garbage and virtually lost every meeting and finished bottom. But I mean, yeah, you want your team to win, but I think you have a duty to entertain as well. Some ways you could argue that we've made avoiding defeat too important, really.
I mean, you've got to say, if you want to attract new people to the sport, which is, we have to.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want this sport to survive, it can't survive as it is currently surviving. It needs more people coming in through the gates. And there's something else I need to say about that as well in a minute. But excuse me.
Sure.
There you go. Yeah, a bit poorly. Not to worry.
I'm not worried.
So you do need that entertainment factor. So how do you do it so that a track can't slicken their track off or do something to basically get rid of the entertainment?
Well, I suppose at the end of the day, the promoters, they've got every right to prepare the track the way they want. Paul didn't do anything. Paul haven't done anything wrong in preparing Wimborne Road the way they wanted it for the first leg of the championship.
Not by the rules.
Not by the rules.
No. They haven't.
But they would argue
is that good enough?
Yeah, well, they would argue. I mean, their name's on the trophy at the end of the day for this season, so they would argue that was the case.
But Glasgow would argue if there's nobody else for you to race against because nobody's turning up through the door.
Yeah.
That is an argument that you could level. Is there an argument to say that tracks should be prepared to a certain standard, and then how do you police that? And what would that standard be?
I think certainly that's probably more a case of if clubs prepare tracks that are dangerous. We have seen that in the past where clubs have prepared tracks that are dangerous, and that's certainly something that you can't do. You can't take liberties with rider safety. Preparing tracks that are just slick and you used to say, we keep harping about it, but the Paul track really, it was almost impossible to pass on, wasn't it? So we saw the track grader going around, nothing coming up off it at all. But at the same time, Paul get good crowds. They'll say, well, it doesn't affect our crowds. We don't suffer. Our crowds don't suffer because we get poor racing. I hear a lot of Paul fans and read a lot of Paul fans on forums who say that the racing at Paul is fantastic, but I've never been impressed with another I've seen them.
No.
There.
I guess if you're winning, it feels fantastic. I guess that's. But. Yeah, it just. Yeah, I like you. I prefer to see good racing. Another team that gets good support that we should mention is Ipswich. They've had real fantastic support.
I must admit, I did like what they did after the player final when they let all the fans come out onto the centre green for the presentation. I think that was a really positive thing. I think it felt that the fans
were part of the thing. Yeah,
were part of it, and we've seen the pictures this week last week from the civic reception that they had in Ipswich Town Centre. They've done great things since they moved into the top league, haven't they? So, and
one of the things that I think that they've done well is they're pretty much keeping the same side year after year after year.
Yeah, they have. I mean, they've had the Jason Doyle, Emil Seifert off spearhead for 2-3 seasons now, haven't they? Danny King's is obviously part of the furniture there.
As a fan, that gives you something to latch onto. That's your guy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not easy when you go to a club that every single season you turn up and there's a completely different set of riders
what's happened at Birmingham
at the press practice every single season, isn't there? Well, who's these who are these guys? We've never seen them before. So, and it's difficult to really sort of get an emotional attachment to riders because a lot of fans, they support the club, but they've also got a particular rider that they've got an affinity with. So.
Particularly youngsters. Yeah. Particularly youngsters.
Well, you've told me about your lad, haven't you?
Yeah, they lost him to Speedway because his favourite rider, who happened to be Ben Powell. Yeah. Whoops. Yeah. He was a bit naughty. But he didn't return for the next season. Hardly any of the riders. This was 2000, the first year that we was back, and he was lost to the sport because that was the guy that that he was that he wanted to have the picture of, that he wanted to be seen with you, and all the rest of it. So I just think that is a big part of sport. Is that?
I think that was a particular issue for Birmingham, wasn't it? Because it seemed like every single season. But then again, at the end of every single season, I think most of the fans didn't want the previous riders back anyway. So because it had been such a poor season. So
Pete Clark makes the note that in football, some clubs leave the grass long depending on who they are playing against.
I think every sport, they do it in cricket as well, as Rich Thomas is there. They'll prepare a pitch or a track the way they want it to try and.
But they do get
their own riders.
They do get fined if they prepare substandard pitches.
Yeah,
and maybe that needs to be looked at. But are we in a situation at the moment where we can look at that?
I don't think
there are more important things to worry about, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So.
There's a.
But then again, as I say, what price do you put on a rider's safety?
Oh, you can't put any price on a rider's safety at all. That's a given. There's a comment there I can't quite read. If you want to pop it down for me. There he is. Jeff Daniels says Danish league runs with 5 teams, 5 riders per team. The likes of Doyle, Lindgren, and Bewley announced today, and that's certainly a rumour that I've heard that might be something that it becomes a little bit more manageable. I suppose.
We had a couple of years in the late 90s where we had 6-man teams, I think, and then it went back to 7-man teams. There's an argument. It's I know we're traditionists and we love to see 7 of our own riders ride for a team, but at the same time you could argue as well, is that really practical in the current era? We do suffer from a shortage of riders, which is ultimately being brought about because of doubling up
and lack of clubs,
doubling up and a lack of clubs. But I think doubling up in particular has been long been a problem, even when we had a lot of clubs anyway. So
I can remember when. So back in 2007, when Birmingham sort of appeared, and I was surprised to see this doubling up, but it was quite a limited doubling up at that point. But every single year, it just got more and more and more. And people were saying, even back in 2007, this is going to cause problems.
Yeah,
it is going to cause big problems, and it has.
Well, I've said before, when it started, I think it started about 2002, I think, and it was intended initially to only be for British riders under the age of 21, and they could
that was still the same when we started.
And they could only do it for 2 years, and then it's one club managed to get a permission and to sort of go do more than one, then another one did, and it's just suddenly become this great big rolling monster that they've just not been able to bring back into control. But at the end of the day, you're never going to get rid of doubling up, because it's the riders who want that, because they want the extra meetings, they want the extra revenue, and you can't blame them for that.
There is one way of stopping doubling up, in one foul swoop. One league. One league stops that, doesn't it?
Yeah, but then it creates a lot of other problems.
But it does create problems, but they're problems that they're eventually going to have to find ways of solving this, otherwise it's just all going to go to pot.
Yeah, you can't keep just kicking it down the road and just hope it sorts itself out, because...
exactly right. So, the other match that we saw in the Championship was Paul against Redcar.
I'm going to have to bout your knowledge on this one, because I didn't see that meeting. So.
I've seen parts of it, but I mean, just the result itself. When you see that they lost, Paul lost by 2 points at Redcar, the writing's on the wall at that point, isn't it? You would think. And as by all accounts, it was a slick track again.
Yep.
And Redcar are a racing team, but they managed to get.
Tried on them, didn't it? In that one, so.
They managed to get that 40. I mean, there was some bits of bad luck in the match with engine failures and so on, but that's always going to play a part in a match like that. I don't want to diss Paul. Maybe I do. I don't want to diss Paul. Yeah. But it's nice to see somebody else win something, isn't it?
Well, it is. Yeah. I mean, obviously, a lot was made of Paul going for a treble, and of course they've done it before in that league. They've got a phenomenal record since they dropped into the Championship, haven't they? But I mean, Redcar obviously rose to the occasion, and Redcar, they've done, as I say, Redcar, another one that have done really, really well. They struggled for a long time, didn't they? when you think about it.
Yep.
Redcar, for quite a long period of time, they were always sort of battling to avoid wooden spoons, and it's really in the last 5 or 6 years they've turned themselves around, haven't they? They've got a good stable set of riders. Again, another team that doesn't seem to change its riders that many times, and they've again built a good affinity. And obviously, it's a great location as well. It's right out it's in the middle of an industrial estate, and that's something that I think some of the other clubs that are trying to get back might well be trying to look at if they can sort of get somewhere. So as opposed to sort of plonking it into a area that's got a lot of houses around it.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all of those sorts of things I think people have got to look at, and as we've mentioned before, tracks in fields and all the rest of it. Fred Graham says the Championship playoffs this season were awesome, as the Glasgow Tigers didn't go our way, but crowds for semi-final and final were well over 2,000, so Speedway was the winner. Does it show that's the way to go, Championship level Speedway, as on Big League, home and away twice? 14 teams, so 26 matches for the riders, plenty of meetings. I mean, that is a good point.
That's the one thing I think fans want to see. They want to see a bit of variety, don't they? You know.
But also, if you put the leagues together, people say, well, the riders are going to miss their doubling up, but they're still going to get the same amount of matches in if the leagues are together. So
yeah,
it sort of cures itself a little bit in that way. And Pete Clark, okay, there we go. I was just going to come on to that. So somebody mentioned that the Bulldozers got in quick at Birmingham.
Yeah, my theory was it was either going to be the Bulldozers or the Arsons who got in there first, but it's the Bulldozers, I think.
And there's been questions in the council today, and Pete Clark is alluding to that when he says, do you need planning permission to demolish a stadium? The answer, of course, is yes.
Yep.
And we don't think, from what we can see, that they got that planning permission to demolish the stadium.
Awful quick, wasn't it?
It was. I was quite astonished when I saw the photographs. I thought, crikey, they're knocking that down a bit quick. So
yeah,
they're knocking it down before somebody changes their mind. So
there are questions being asked at the council at the moment, as we know, about did they actually have the proper planning permission to do that. Nothing will come of it, of course.
Well, I was going to say, unfortunately, don't just assume that they're going to rebuild it.
No, absolutely not. But it does sort of speak to the... Yeah, I'm allowed to say this because that's what I feel. To the hypocrisy and to the backhanders and to the mafia-style way things are being run at the moment. That's certainly how it feels. Yeah, we know, everybody knows that Birmingham Council's bankrupt and have got to find money, and they don't seem to care how they do it. And it's just a crying shame. I'm spitting blood over it, but I can't do anything about it, of course.
Yeah, it's not as if you can go there and lie down in front of the digger, is it, sir?
No. We'll just read this by Debbie Reynolds. We have YouTube on the go. Well done.
I think it's
Darren Reynolds, yeah.
I can't see.
Yeah, glasses on.
Yeah. No. There are over 40 cycle speedway clubs in the UK, all with their own youth teams. Speedway has no excuse and must get local schools, youth clubs, etc. involved with the sport.
Cycle Speedway in many ways is probably in a worse state than Speedway because it's we often say Speedway is the worst kept is motorsport's best kept secret because it's the best kept secret because nobody tells anybody about it. And Cycle Speedway is in the same position. I mean, crazy thing is you look at cycling. Cycling is one of the most popular pastimes in the country, and it's good fitness as well. And yet, it's almost Cycle Speedway. It's almost like they don't want anybody else there. It's just their little social thing, and they don't want anybody else getting involved. So,
yeah,
that's coming from somebody whose family were involved with Cycle Speedway for best part of 60 years. So,
Fred Graham says if British Speedway gets our house in order, could be big benefit in 2027, as Polish Speedway only allowing riders to race for 2 clubs. So let's get ready and be prepared for this before Swedish Speedway. I mean, I don't see what we can prepare. We need clubs for riders to ride in, and that's the bottom line.
Unless someone's coming along with a nice big pot of money that we don't know about yet.
Well,
We shall see.
That would be nice. Are you telling me that you've got a big pot of money?
No, I haven't, unfortunately. So
Just a big pot.
Simon Pitchford says, did you see that Peterborough City Council refused planning permission to build the 1,500 houses on the showground? Panthers are hoping to have talks with the landowners about potentially getting back to their showground track. Yes, I did see that. On the face of it, that's certainly positive news. The thing that makes me... just reading something else there. The thing that makes me sort of be a little bit hesitant there is the phrase "are hoping to have talks."
yeah, having
There's been no communication between them.
having seen a footage of a presentation that one of the guys involved in that planning applicant. His comments about Speedway and his rather derogatory comments about Speedway, shall we say, and in particular Speedway supporters, I think it's very little chance of any breakthrough there. I think it's just a case that they'll probably sit on it now out of spite and just let the land fester. So, they'll probably rather see it derelict than see Speedway back on it.
Do the council have some say in that? I don't know.
Well, they don't really. Well, unfortunately, the council haven't been able to make any inroads at Brandon, have they? So,
No,
and they weren't able to make any inroads at Dudley Wood. Although I don't think they really. I get the impression, really, from even all these years ago, that they didn't really want to anyway. I mean, it's amazing. You think, last week, I think it was the weekend. Was it 30 years? Last weekend since Dudley Wood closed. I mean, where's that gone? That's flown by. So.
Dave Twine says Birmingham Monarchs, that's a Speedway team, but a cycle Speedway
Perry
team,
Park.
wanted the Brummies lights, I read. That would have been a bit overkill for them, wouldn't it?
Just a bit, yeah.
Pete Clark says maybe Harry Redknapp is going to invest his pension fund.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
It's going to have to be a very big pension fund.
Chris Thorogood says the guy Matt refers to regarding Peterborough was the land promoter on behalf of the owner. The owners and promoters have fell out massively and parted ways.
Oh, that's one obstacle, I suppose, that would be removed. So, but no, I think it's it's a small victory, I think, for Peterborough, but it's going to be
a victory, though.
It's a victory, but it's going to be same with Coventry stopping. They've managed so far to stop Brandon Estates getting bulldozers onto Brandon, but that, as I've always said, that's the easy bit. The hardest bit is getting them to sell it back to them. Which I know there's people involved at Coventry who've got the money, but it doesn't matter how much money you've got to have a willing seller. And at the moment, Brandon Estates don't seem to be showing any inclination at all to sell it. So
It's a thing that we see over and over and over again, isn't it? And we have to, why is that? Why is Speedway thought of so badly that people, well, no, we're not going to let you have that. We're not going to do that. Why is it like that?
We don't shout up about it. That's the thing. So
maybe so. Okay.
And I still don't think that the BSPL do enough to try and help some of these clubs that are getting back. I've seen people who've said that you've had planning applicants and planning officers at councils who've asked for information from the BSBL or the Speed Control Bureau, and they don't even get a phone call back. So,
well, nobody in this room is surprised at that. We've tried to get comments from the BSPL and BSPA as it was before, and we've never, ever got. And you think they'd want to, use a platform like this and some of the other platforms that are out there to sort of inform their fans, but no. Simon Pitchfork said that was Ashley Butterfield at AEPG talking about Peterborough, and of course that was speaking badly about Panther Speedway. AEPG's contract with East of England Agricultural Society has expired. Panthers can now talk to the showground owners. Rich Thomas points out that Reading is still derelict after lots of years.
Oh, Reading was just ridiculous. I mean, that's the frustrating thing with Reading. I mean, people keep saying, well, go back there, there's nothing there. I mean, you can still see the outline of the track if you look at it on Google, but they're told that that's lined up for something else, but it's been lined up for something else for rather a long time now, absolutely. And nothing seems to be happening. So,
Dennis asks the question of the moment. Is the heating not on in the studio?
Well, actually, I have it on until you two come in.
Yeah,
Is that-
and then he switches
Yeah,
it off.
switch it off then.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Mr. Penny Pincher
Yeah,
himself.
yeah,
so.
yeah. I've got gloves on, you know.
I'm wearing a coat because I'm a little bit poorly. Matt's wearing a coat because he comes from Wolverhampton.
I come from Starbridge, actually, if you must know. But that's, Starbridge gets cold at this time of the year.
It's nothing to be proud of.
So there we go. I guess I don't know which one of those clocks is right, so I'm going to have a look at this one.
Okay, it's the
that
bottom,
one.
the one on the bottom.
Okay. So I think probably now is probably a good time for us to move to a different subject and talk about who the hell has won the Prediction League.
Well, we know who's won the Prediction League. It's been all over social media. So
I don't. I haven't
if you don't
seen
bother,
this.
If you don't bother to look, that's.
So
I've been too busy getting pneumonia in Greece, so yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have the tables to hand, so you'll have to run through
Well,
it.
I want to say congratulations to Elliot, who has won this year's.
You mean Birmingham have won something this year?
Yeah,
really was. Let's just have a look. Just amuse yourselves for a minute while I find this table. I thought I had.
So anyway, do you have a nice holiday? Yeah.
No, I didn't, but
No,
let's
you-
not go
okay,
into that.
Okay. It's enough of that.
Well done, Elliot, by the way.
I
Yep.
did notice that I was again above you in the final
Not by much.
standings.
It was just about a point, wasn't
It
it? So,
doesn't matter.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. So that's what, 3 years on the trot now?
Well, it's not going to happen again.
Not bad from a person who knows
Nothing.
No.
You know a lot more than they do at the BSPL.
Here we go. So Elliot scored, finished on 213, just a point ahead of Skippy with 212. Rich Thomas actually 212. Skippy and Andrew Garner 211. Phil Taylor 210. Chris Thorogood 209. Simon Corbett 205.
Well,
Barry Young 204. Myself 201. Brian Buck 200. And that's the top 10. So
that's all we need to
Webby 187, GA 185. So it wasn't much in it in the end.
But we have a new winner.
We have
for the
indeed, yeah.
first
winner,
time.
so yeah. Can I have that cutback,
Simon.
please, Simon, so I can acid clean it.
I should say as well, to be fair, Simon was the first person to congratulate Elliot online.
Oh,
so
well done,
fair
yeah.
play to him.
With gritty teeth, was it?
So,
Yeah.
should point out as well, of course, we have got the exact scores, which we were going to use as a tiebreak, and I have spent most of the season thinking it's going to come down to that. But 21 was the highest score on the exact scores, and that was by this man here.
Good God.
Wow.
Next year, can we
No,
have a
we
special
can't, no.
prize for that one?
No, okay.
That
Yeah.
I won't win it ever again.
Yeah, so I'll contact you in the week, Elliot, and I'll get
Yep.
your mug and a T-shirt off to you. There we go.
Yeah, and send us a photograph of them as well. 'Cause,
Yeah, it's all good.
Simon always does.
Yeah, it
So.
always looks good. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Brilliant.
Okay.
It was quite a good league.
Yeah, it
Quite
was
exciting,
really
actually.
tight all the way through it, yeah.
It's topsy
I had a look through all the old tables, actually. Andrew Garner led it for most of the season. I think he'd led it for about 8 weeks.
Right.
At one point he was about 7 points in front, so...
Wow.
Just shows you it's never over till
Yep, so-
that lady sings.
No.
And after, I looked as well, after 5 weeks, Elliot was 16th. So it's amazing how things can turn around really quickly, yeah. So
So I think we should.
Simon's getting a bit of stick as well on the... yeah, so... Simon says, which one, by the way? Which one of his 4, so...
Yeah. Are what's happening?
Sorry, I was just putting the clock straight. It was
Oh,
doing,
okay.
doing me head in.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, Rich Thomas says, if Elliot gets a mug, do I get an egg cup? Yeah. He's also said, did Simon not enter this year, so...
I think he's trying to just give, because he gave everybody a head start last year. I think that lulled him into a false sense of security, and he thought he could do the same again. That's what I'm saying.
I think we're making excuses. right?
Elliot says, glad to hear I have won. Thanks for the prizes. Quite tight at the end. I just pulled into the lead on the last couple of weeks. I mean, to be fair to Elliot, he goes
He sees more speed
than anybody I know.
Yeah, so yeah, he should be winning it really, considering the amount of meetings he watches every year. So
how many meetings has it been this year, Elliot? Let us know.
yeah.
So shall we just have a quick go through the roll call of honour.
Mm-hmm.
So we have.
We haven't got any roll call music, have we? Or if not, all the Facebook block it if you try and play it. So.
I did actually have a fanfare. I have, yes. Do you want it?
Go on then. So, go on then. Wow.
All right.
That's far too professional for us. So for the Row Motor Oil Premiership champions were
Ipswich Witches,
with the runners-up being
Leicester.
Now we predicted the winners would be
Leicester.
So we got that.
We nearly got there.
Yeah.
They did win the Knockout Cup though. So
they did win the Knockout Cup, and that the Premiership Knockout Cup winners, Leicester.
Okay.
Doesn't give us the runners-up for that.
Mm-hmm.
Cab Direct Championship. The champions were
Pool Pirates,
and the runners-up were
the Glasgow Tigers.
The Maxi Cup Cab Knockout Cup
Pool
winners,
Pirates,
and the runners-up for that was Glasgow. No, was it Glasgow? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the BSN series was won by
Redcar Bears,
probably the one that nobody saw coming.
Mm-hmm.
The Championship League Riders Championship.
The Bomber, who won that one for Glasgow.
And the Championship Pairs was won by
Redcar. So again, Redcar, 2 major events won by them this season. So
well done. The WSRA National Development League champions was
Oxford,
with the runners-up being
Edinburgh.
The National Development Trophy winners were
Kings Lynn.
Runners-up was
Leicester.
But I say well done to Oxford. It's been a tough year for them, so at least they got a trophy in the lower leagues.
That's right. Yeah. So.
And the one that you've been waiting for me to read, of course, the Midland Development League winners was
Wolverhampton. There you go, Wall City Council. We are still winning trophies, even though we're not racing. We haven't raced a single meeting in the Wolverhampton area. So
there was a lot.
Just a little reminder.
Yeah, there you go. And the Northern Junior League winners was
the Berwick Academy,
British champion this year,
Robert Lambert,
and the British Under-21 champion,
Sam Hagan
from
Birmingham. Berwick. So there was a little
bit of a something to cheer.
Well, was he riding for Birmingham at the time? He won his.
The British Under-19 champion,
Luke Harris from Kingsley and Scunthorpe,
and the British Youth champion, Cooper Russian.
The 500cc.
500cc, 250cc.
Casper Klusniak.
I'm glad you said that. And 125cc.
Lewis Haig.
And the 125cc support.
Douglas Marshall.
Okay. I think there's Luke Harrison's probably got a big future in the sport from what I've seen of him, as Cooper Russian, of course.
Cooper Russian, I was really impressed with him when I saw him at Perry Bar. Very, very stylish rider as well. So
we can still pull these riders up.
Yeah.
And it's quite an irony, isn't it, that we're in a situation where we've got really good riders now
coming through the ranks.
Well, even at the top of the ranks, we've got. When I came back to the sport in 2007, British riders, we were nowhere.
Bomber and Scott Nichols.
That was it.
Yep.
And now you've got the likes of Dan Bewley,
Robert Lambert, Tom
Brennan. You know, and we should say get well soon. Tom Brennan actually as well. While I'm thinking about it, broke his leg in America. What was he doing in America? Yep. Don't know.
Oh, by the way, I have got a special fanfare for the lowest scoring presenter as well. Hang on. Hey.
I'll take it because I got more right than anybody else. I feel like I should have a little plaque or something for that. That's what I think.
We're not listening.
Okay. Have we heard anything from Sheffield for next season?
That's gone quiet, hasn't it? So,
yeah, good question.
I've heard whispers that Sheffield have been told that there's nothing to worry about, that there is something lined up for them. I don't think it's somebody who wears a top hat. If you know what I mean.
I do know you. I mean, because that was a rumour that I had heard.
I don't think that's him. So, but the rumour I have heard that there are talks going for that one. So hopefully it will be sorted out, because we don't want to lose another club, and Sheffield's obviously got a lot of respect for Sheffield as a club.
Great track as well.
Yeah.
Shane Rawlins says, Chris is a legend. He helped so many over the past regarding music and sports, bringing people together. My respect forever. Is that you?
I don't know. Is it? Probably.
Well, neither of us two are called Chris, are we? So.
Yeah, well.
Must be, yeah. Must be. Thank you very much. I love you.
I feel a little bit sick now. Shane Rawlins says, late as usual, thanks for your time, patience, hard work covering the Brummies. Of course, we haven't just covered the Brummies, and that's something that we keep getting asked.
It won't be asked of us next year, of course, sadly. So.
Yeah, but we are back next year, even though we neither of us now have a team to follow. But
we shall be watching plenty of speedways neutral.
Yeah.
It'll be a good opportunity, I think, to sort of
Yeah.
look at things from a holistic. Is it holistic? Is that the
holistic's
word?
a good word.
Holistic, yeah.
Holistic
It's a big word for me, that is,
and non. The word's gone.
Non-biased.
Non-biased. There you go.
Give us some
the
more
word.
UK standing, really, I think. Yeah.
So we'll be able to be a little bit more.
If anybody out
honest,
there,
I
by the
think.
way, if anybody out there who is interested in sort of taking part as a sort of a reporter for each area, get in touch with us.
Yeah,
and
of course.
if you want to record something, just send it to Webby. He'll listen to it.
So easy so these days. Yeah, just record
And
something.
if you want to come on the show as well, we can facilitate that. You don't have to be in the studio.
Yeah.
We like it if you are, but we can do that over Zoom and the rest of it. So it would be nice to get a few more people taking
Or
part.
any other ideas you think? Yeah.
Yeah,
even if it's to say get rid of us three. So
Yeah. Especially these two in front of me.
Wow.
Ellioton did 74 meetings last season.
74
sorry,
meetings.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Crikey.
friend Dave Lowe got to 109 meetings in person.
Wow. See, it's people like that we need on this show reporting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we may well use you for reporting for some shows next year, Elliot, if you're up for that. Okay, on Saturday.
I'm not going to read that one. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. On Saturday, October the 25th, Peterborough Panthers raced against Mildenhall at Mildenhall. There was, and they've disappeared.
Yeah,
there we go.
once,
There was 800 people in attendance on a freezing cold night for a Nora meeting. Around 400 Peterborough fans travelled to West Row. The final score was Mildenhall 44, Panthers 46. It was a very good meeting. Nora's gone sort of quiet a little bit, hasn't it? And,
they've certainly been very quiet down on the Isle of Wight.
The Isle of
They
Wight,
haven't any meetings at all this year. I don't think
not
they
that
have,
I'm
have they?
aware
So-
of. Not that I'm aware of, which is a shame.
Yeah.
We'll read that one because it's quite a nice one.
Okay. I might blush.
Please don't.
Fred Graham said, shout out to all three of you for bringing the Speedway Tavern to us again this season. Hopefully, British Speedway is more positive about itself over the winter and in 2026. We have the potential to improve our sport and get some more tracks back into our sport. All Speedway fans promote your support. In Glasgow, our promoters asked regular fans to give out free tickets to new fans, and it has been a roaring success. From little acorns grow big trees. I really like that post. Thank you for sharing that.
Simon Corbett's idea for next season is less holidays for the presenters.
I'm not sure that's going to happen.
No, it's going to be more.
No, I
We've got
mean,
more time to go on holiday now. We haven't got to rush back for Speedway.
And yes, Pete, we would love to go on the road. It's something we've talked about for a long, long time.
Yeah,
We will eventually.
we are going to have a meeting about that at some point this year, hopefully,
Yeah.
and see what we can conjure up. I mean, the bottom line is there has to be an interest from the supporters.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
We're not going to do it for
like-
2 or 3 people,
Yeah,
are we?
so that's
yeah.
Of course,
So
yeah.
we need to work out how we're going to do that, and in a way that means that because you guys are all over the place now.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got to work out what's the best way around it. But we have been talking about it, and we will continue to talk about it. And hopefully, something will happen next year. That's our hope anyway. Isle of Wight did run meetings, but it's not especially promoted as not sanctioned by British Speedway. It's a Nora run thing, isn't it?
They're not obviously on the best of terms with the BSBL at the moment, are they? So, and I think that's probably a bit too far gone now for that to be sorted out, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to sort of. So this year's been a bit sort of bitty, hasn't it, for us at the Speedway?
Yeah.
There's been lots of missed programmes and so on. Most of that, I have to hold my hand up, is my fault.
Yeah. Oh, we're blaming you, don't worry. Yeah,
But,
no, we totally agree.
Just
No, we totally agree.
yeah, family problems and illnesses
things happen, don't
and
they?
stuff.
Yeah.
Things, just stuff got in the way this year. It's that old John Lennon quote, isn't it? Life's what happens to you when you're busy making other plans.
Yeah.
Sure.
And life happened to me quite a lot this year.
Yeah.
But but hopefully we will get a little bit more on track as far as that's concerned next year. I'm actually looking forward to next season in a weird sort of way. I've sort of got used to a little bit now Birmingham not being there. I don't know whether you feel.
I felt the same thing really last season, to be honest. It probably didn't really hit me until the fixtures came out in the January of 24, and you look at them. Well, when's Wolves' foot? Oh, it's not. We're not riding, are we? So that's sort of when it hit me a little bit. But it was interesting the last couple of years with Birmingham. Obviously going there as a neutral, and of course doing some work for Birmingham on the hospitality team as well. And I made some great friends on that, and I'm going to. Although I'm still going to stay in touch with them, it's going to be strange not working with them on the Monday night, because we all built up a really good rapport of working together. So, but hopefully we will meet up at some point during the course of the year. So,
yeah, absolutely. It's my intention to get around a few more Speedway tracks this year as well.
Yeah.
That's the only way I'm going to get to Senior Life Speedway course. Is it possible a team representing the West Midlands could form a Speedway team / club if a promotion track venue can be found?
That's the problem.
That's the big problem. I mean, yes, it's possible.
it's possible.
It is possible.
Yeah.
I think I would. Look, my team's Birmingham. Your team's Wolves, and it's always going to be that.
Yeah.
You know, but there isn't a Wolves, there isn't a Birmingham, there isn't a Cradley, there isn't a Coventry.
There is a Leicester, obviously.
There is a Leicester. So I think I would probably go and support that team if that's what was available. I would go and support that team, very much depending on where it was. I think. I don't know how you feel about that.
Oh, without doubt, yeah.
So I think there certainly is a possibility for something like that.
And I think I think at the moment we're looking at Coventry or possibly Cradley being the most likely ones to come back in this area. I think Wolves and Birmingham fans would go and not support the teams. I think they'd probably support the opposition, but they'd certainly go and watch racing there, because it's a great opportunity to sort of keep your nose in the sport, and while keeping your fingers crossed that one of those clubs will come back.
At the end of the day, when this sport gets it right, I don't think there's anything as exciting or.
It's still one of those. It's still one of those sports where you see things that you think, "Wow, did that really happen?
Did that really just happen?" Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
I think it's important as well that we reflect on probably the biggest highlight of the year for a lot of people, and that would be the final of the British final. Incredible race at Bellevue with. Bomber, Charles Wright, Richard Dawson and Dan Bewley. Every rider was in every single position during the race. During the heat, I think every rider was in every single position on the last lap. They? So it was just, and that video obviously went viral, didn't it? So many people watched that.
Yeah. Can you think of another motorsport where that's a possibility? It wouldn't ever happen.
It's unique, isn't it? Because it's not like in Formula One where you see the cars for about 2 seconds and then you've got to wait another minute and then you see them for 2 seconds again. You can see every bit of every single meeting from. I think it was Bernie Eccleston who said that Speedo was perfect for television.
Yeah.
So.
And it was for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, the viewing that the figures that Sky used to get when it first started. I mean, they said themselves.
It was the third most watched sport, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So.
It was, at one stage,
And then what happened?
It was a wonderful opportunity they had with Sky, and we didn't take advantage of it. Well, I think we sort of rode on the coattails of it a little bit, and picked up the check at the end of the day. But there should have been some sort of proper things put in place to sort of safeguard
some investment, some investment
that would have stopped these clubs from. Losing their stadiums or being told by landlords that they're not welcome anymore, even though you're a viable business. Go away. Don't want you here anymore.
They got greedy. and said, we can have this rider, this rider, this rider. And
Yeah.
the riders went, we'll get greedy as well. I want this much, I want this much, I want this much.
Said a while ago that it's no coincidence that Sky started covering Speedway and Thomas Golub's name appeared on the British League contract. Not having a go at Thomas Golub, because, you know, if the opportunity was there, you know, and he was always going to take it. So
Yeah, absolutely. If it had happened now, Bartosz Marszalik would have done the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Pete Clark said, "I'm sure you will all be welcome at Buxton. Certainly, Buxton is one
It's
of
a good news story, isn't it?
He's on a lot of people's list to get up to. So, and there's, you know, we've seen the photographs that Lawrence has been posting, and there's a lot of hard work going on.
Absolutely,
At,
by the Birmingham volunteers, by the way. It's a long way for you to go, guys. But you know, kudos to you.
Yeah. And that's one definitely to go to, I think, for next year. So
I'm definitely going to make
afternoon,
my way there. We maybe we'll do a Speedway Tavern from there. That's an interesting thought.
Yeah. We'll have to bring that coat, I think, to go there. So.
Yes, and another coat on top. It's very cold at Buxton, by the way. Very
colder
cold.
than you now.
Possibly.
I've been to Buxton. I think it's the coldest place in the world. So.
Yeah. There's polar bears that won't go there.
Yeah.
So anyway. Right. Well, I think that's what they call a wrap, guys.
2025.
It's been an interesting year for all sorts of reasons. Some good, some bad.
Yeah.
We've got a massive AGM coming up, and we'll be all over that and keeping our eye on that. And if there's something that we feel need to report, we will come back and do that.
I can say this for both of our benefits: support your track, because you never
Absolutely.
know when you're going to lose it.
Get out there and support your track. You take care, everyone. Have a great Christmas. Have a happy New Year, and we'll see you at the other side. Take care. Bye bye.
Good night.
Good night, and well done, Elliot.
Speedway Tavern, enjoy your stay. GA, and man, I'm here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern.
Oh dear.